Martin Popoff from the Contrarians back again with another edition of Reliving Old Reviews as a useless tool of confusion. This is the show where we look at an old review of an album that is legendary or a band that's legendary that we've talked about and yapped about throughout multiple episodes on the Contrarians and my audio podcast, History in 5 Songs with Martin Popoff. When I go on with Pete on Sea of Tranquility, when I go on with Andee Edwards, right? These are much discussed bands, but it's good to see these reviews that are boots on the ground and see, what they were saying when this album was fresh, just coming out. So we are looking at a review by Rush, and of course, I can still supply my Rush trilogy. These are all of them in softcover. I've actually got 2 of them left in hardcover as well, but any of these can be ordered at martinpopoff.com, and I will sign them and send them out from the office. I can also still supply Rush album by album, our famous panel book from quite a few years ago. But there you go. And we are looking at a review of Roll the Bones in Kerrang! Magazine, right? So this is by Paul Henderson. A review of Roll the Bones. Let's see what they have to say. Hearing this album, not a very heavy album, right? But I'm kind of interested to see if we get a lot of the usual that you'd get out of Rush reviews all the time. It's like they're going back to their roots, they're rocking again. It's going to be hard to do that in this one, but let's see if he does it. But yeah, there you go. Skeleton Crew. There's the suave intellectual look of Rush during this time, right? Okay, so here's a spoiler alert. He does give it 4 Ks out of 5, so that's a really high rating. So as he says, it's been a funny year so far in terms of musical surprises and detours. The new Metallica album sees James Hetfield actually singing. Rumor has it that Guns N' Roses might release a follow-up to Appetite. And with Roll the Bones, you could say that Rush have rediscovered rock and roll. There you go. There it comes. They haven't. But they're saying they have. And this happens all the time with Rush, right? Many Rush hallmarks are still there. Superb musicianship, Geddy Lee's acquired taste, nasal vocals, wordy lyrics, and an ear for a decent tune. But Roll the Bones largely ditches instrumental flash in favor of musical flair. A bit of dirt in the works instead of clinical cleanliness. And of course, now we consider this one of the most clinically clean albums they ever did, right? This, Hold Your Fire, Presto. Okay, there's a distinct feeling that this is a much more inspirational From the Heart album than they've recorded for a while. That's another thing that you usually get more or less said, right? Whereas the Big Wheel and Neurotica might previously have had their edges blunted a little by being stuffed with a minute detail painted with a fine pointed brush. Here, the ideas are splashed onto tape with a roller in more of a Rolf Harris approach. Not sure what that means. This is a meticulous, thin, not very electric, very pristine, clinical album, right? So I don't know about this sloshing stuff onto the tape with a roller. The opener, Dreamline, is as good an example of as any of this relatively no-frills approach, belting along on a high-power riff and sparkling with mule kick drum fills and genuinely exciting off-the-cuff guitar playing from Alex Lifeson, the latter a strong feature of the album overall. See Face Up and Bravado. Not particularly. I mean, this album, famously, this is Rush's songwriting phase, right? Where you go from the keyboard phase, and there's ostensibly less keyboards on Presto and Roll the Bones, but there's still some, and I don't think it's particularly Alexy either. Elsewhere, the songwriting is sharp, the playing fiery, and the production less of the smothering fire blanket that it previously tended towards. It would be stretching a point to say that Roll the Bones takes Rush into previously unexplored territory, but there's something here to suggest that Rush have had either a rethink or a flash of inspiration regarding what they are about and where they are headed. And again, I don't think that's particularly true. I mean, basically now many years later, people tend to group this album and Presto as a pairing, the same way you kind of get Power Windows and Hold Your Fire as a pairing, right? And there seems to be a demarcation that you get towards the next album counterparts, right? Either way, Roll the Bones is the best Rush album for a long time. We always get that one too, right? Not quite prompting the Rush Hang Loose shock headline, but getting there. says Paul Henderson. So there you go. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I mean, it just feels like this has got to be the marquee review in this edition of Kerrang. It sounds like if we read between the lines, it's a little lukewarm and descriptive. Rather than effusive praise, but there you go. Let us know in the comments below what you think of this review or my review of this review. You can join our Patreon situation that gets you onto our panels. Like I say, if you need any of these Rush books, the trilogy, I've got them right here still, all in soft cover. I will sign them, send them out from the office. Our Patreon, like I say, it can get you onto our panel situations. I love doing those shows as well. But there you go. Rush, roll the bones. Another Reliving Old Reviews is a useless tool of confusion.